Welcome to the Paragliding XC Stories. Every flight is a story, and many of them are worth sharing. Today's story is about risk management in XC flight. We will talk about what kind of risks we manage during cross-country flights and explore a specific scenario where I applied risk management techniques. Perhaps you'll find them useful for your own adventures. I like to categorize in-flight risks into two types: tactical and safety. Tactical risk means if things go not as expected, you'll lose a lot of time in some location. In worst case, you will need to abort your flight and land. Safety risk involves more serious consequences, such as the need to deploy a reserve parachute or, in extreme cases, a crash. These two risks are often linked, with reducing one potentially increasing the other. Here's an example. Deciding whether to fly directly through a turbulent lee side to reach an upwind side quickly increases safety risk, but decreases tactical risk. On the other side, avoiding the lee side reduces safety risk, but rises tactical risk, since you'll arrive low to the upwind side, and you'll need much more time for that. Minimizing both risks is ideal, for example by flying high and fast, but it's not always possible. Situations where both risks are high should be avoided, as they offer only disadvantages and lead to trouble. Most of the time, those situations happen due to our own major mistakes and poor decisions. For example, hitting a very strong headwind so that you even fly backwards. So let's see how I coped with risks in a particular case and how I made my decisions. I'll put two risk indicators on the screen to show how I assessed my risks. It all starts with my tactical mistake. I pushed too hard and ended up in a shadowed area lower than planned. This spine creates quite an unpleasant downwash because of the lee side, so I need to get some height first to cross it. Both risks are currently low as you see, but the tactical one just increased slightly. All is fine for now, and I decide to try the sunny slope. The birds probably thought I'll show them a thermal, but unfortunately I disappoint them. No updraft here, so I scratch the slope further. I see another bird struggling to find updrafts, and now realize that my tactical risk increases significantly. The area is shadowed by the big clouds, and I might lose a lot of time finding the next thermal here. My safety risk is very low at this point, however. Attempting to work weak and undefined updrafts doesn't help. Getting back to the slope, hoping that the wind might push the hot air from the sunny area down below, but this doesn't work either. My tactical risk increases even more. I know there is a high voltage power line crossing this valley, so I need to decide how much time can I spend searching for lift here. I talk to my friend passing by high over me and asking if I'm okay.
Eher schlecht, abgeschattet, keine Thermik und Stromleitungen, also ich schau mal.
He made a better choice and is now soaring high above. It is better to get to the sunny slopes, but can I get over the power line? Should I land here on the slopes instead? Landing here seems possible, but I don't want to give up too early. I decide to try crossing the power line and search for thermals at the sunny slopes. This will increase my safety risk, because I'll need to fly close to that power line. Can I just accept that? Well, I always follow a golden rule. No decision without a plan B. That's my personal commitment, and I have strictly followed it since many years. It's very important to have a plan B in mind before taking an action. Otherwise, you might end up in passing the point of no return, and if the initial plan doesn't work out, there will be simply no other options. This will shoot the safety risk through the roof to practically 100%, and I just cannot accept that. My plan B is to land down on the road just below the power line. It's not ideal, but safe enough. There are no better landing options here anyway. So now I approach the power line. Since I do have a plan B, I want to try finding some lift closer to the sunny slope. I constantly watch the power line to exactly know how close I am. Feeling a weak but turbulent lee side lift, I decide to try getting some height here. My safety risk is at my defined maximum at this point, but I'm fully aware. If I'll suddenly lose height, I will execute my plan B. So the weak thermal barely lifts me, but every meter counts. The power line is sometimes hard to spot, so I'm extremely cautious and stay slightly away from it. This weak and shaky bubble disappears, and I decide to go ahead and finally cross the power line. This will finally lower my safety risk, but my tactical risk jumps high. I just left the thermal and now glide down, losing precious height. The slope behind me gets covered by the clouds anyway, so I need to find another thermal source. My intention is to fly towards this slope. There are several landing options down below, so a plan B is already set up. Here I sense an updraft and try to find its core. I'm no more restricted by the power line, so my safety risk drops significantly. Finding a well-defined core is priority 0 now. With every meter I gain, my tactical risk slowly sinks. However, I realize that I drift towards the power line again. But now I am in a rising air bubble and have enough height to escape if I suddenly lose it. Still, safety risk is not 0. If I will need to throw my reserve, I'll be in big trouble. Luckily enough, I can gain quite some altitude here. Keeping the power line inside, I work hard on reducing both my risks. And I finally succeed. On this day, I managed to fly a 145 km triangle enjoying the beautiful Colombian landscapes. As you see, a cross-country flight requires you to think a lot, make decisions, evaluate risks, observe the environment. Many pilots say that flying cross-country requires more mental concentration than physical effort. Therefore, it's very important to fly a wing that doesn't overwhelm you. If you are using all your energy just to fly the wing, you won't be able to focus on decision-making and risk management. So, what are the key takeaways from this story? Know and control your risks. Always have a plan B. Fly wings that allow you to focus on decision-making, not on piloting. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you found it helpful or at least interesting. Feel free to tell your stories in the comments. If you disagree, want to discuss something, or just want to fly together, reach out to me via socials. You can find them in the video description. See you in the next story!